One of the things I do a lot on this channel is try to keep you ambitious. There's been a number of times when I've played the motivational speaker in a video hoping to inspire a good work ethic, not just because I believe a good work ethic can take you places, but because you need that mindset if you are going to go places, especially in somewhere like solo queue. Whatever your goals may be, you have to stay motivated and not get deterred from any bumps in the road. So today I'm going to take a step back, and instead of giving you another big long speech, I'm going to tell you my favorite example of just how far ambition and hard work can take you. I do hope you're able to take away a positive message from this and improve your play as a result, but more than anything, I hope you sit back and enjoy this truly one-of-a-kind story. In the year 1982, Chris and Tim Stamper would found Ashby Computers and Graphics Limited in their hometown of Ashby-de-la-Zouch in Leicestershire, England. They had spent years working for others in arcade development and now wanted to be their own bosses at their own video game company, and while they would eventually grow a business that would become legendary all around the world, for now they were starting small. Their first console that they'd work on would be the 8-bit Sinclair ZX Spectrum, a personal computer popular at the time in the UK, although not really anywhere else. Although the brothers were starting small, they would work just as hard as any other developer out there. They'd take out massive loans and work ridiculous hours, but eventually they'd come up with their first title, Jetpack. The game would be a 2D combination of platforming and shooting where an astronaut has to assemble and fuel his rocket while fighting off hordes of aliens to blast off from one level to the next. Before they released it though, they thought their company name, Ashby Computers and Graphics, sounded a bit dull, so they came up with the pseudonym Ultimate Play the Game to refer to themselves as, and while they were taking a very big risk starting their own company, it paid off. Jetpack would net over £1 million in profit and win the Golden Joystick Award for Game of the Year in 1983. The Stampers had hit the ground running, and they showed no signs of slowing down anytime soon. After Jetpack came a slew of games, each one becoming commercially successful. Trans Am, Saberwolf, Cookie, and a sequel to Jetpack named Lunar Jetman all would be released in the upcoming year. Ultimate continued to pump out game after game, and with the success of each one, they'd soon become a household name for gamers all over the UK. While they were riding high on their fame and fortune though, the Stamper brothers wouldn't ever settle or compromise their work. They'd only release top quality games and reportedly worked almost unhealthy hours along with their co-workers, saying part-time work makes a part-time game. It was ridiculous how well this ethic translated into success, but what was even more ridiculous was how they'd try new things and have them succeed in magnificent fashion. By far the biggest innovation that would occur from their days at Ultimate would be the release of Night Lore, one of the first games ever to use a 3D isometric perspective and widely considered the game that popularized the look. A revolutionary, groundbreaking success, and the Stampers were just getting started. Ultimate would go on to win the Golden Joystick Award for Best Software House in both 1983 and 1984, and while they garnered some criticism for their constant use of their isometric engine they called Filmation, their runaway success showed no signs of slowing and was adored by the public. However, this success proved to be a double-edged sword and quickly brought on rumors of a possible buyout. Shortly before 1985, the name of another company began appearing in the credits of Ultimate's releases. Rumors had it that the UK software house Ocean was going to buy out Ultimate to develop games under their name, and this small development team titled Rare Limited would be the beginnings of a new company that wouldn't be subject to the supposed buyout. In 1985, the Stamper brothers would confirm these rumors and sell Ultimate Play the Game to US Gold, which is actually a British developer. Most fans thought they were crazy to sell the company, seeing how much money it's brought the brothers over the years, but the Stampers knew what they were doing. They knew the ZX Spectrum's life was almost over and that there was something new on the horizon. You see, sometime before the buyout, the brothers had gotten their hands on a Japanese import of a new video game console known as the Famicom, made by a company called Nintendo. Chris and Tim quickly realized this was the future of home consoles, and after hearing Nintendo planned on releasing the console worldwide as the Nintendo Entertainment System, they quickly set up their division Rare to learn to program for it. Nintendo had proudly declared that their console, unlike rival Atari's, couldn't be reverse engineered. With no resources, documentation, or anything other than their import, the Stamper brothers did exactly that. They became Nintendo hardware and software experts by the time they were done, so after finishing their work, they whipped up some tech demos, sold Ultimate Play the Game, and took their work to Nintendo's headquarters. Nintendo was stunned. They had never seen the level of ambition these two guys brought to the table. The brothers had accomplished so much already in their short 2 years in the gaming industry and showed ridiculous levels of ambition and initiative, seeking Nintendo out personally to exhibit all their hard work. This led to Nintendo making an unprecedented deal where the Stamper brothers would get virtually unlimited funding from Nintendo as long as their future games would be exclusively for Nintendo systems. Rare would go on to create over 40 games for Nintendo's NES and Game Boy, working like mad, making a ton of money with each one. They would cash in on a number of licensed titles for games such as Nightmare on Elm Street and Beetlejuice. However, unlike their days at Ultimate, the Stampers wouldn't ever break new ground on the NES or achieve mainstream popularity over this 16-year period. The brothers weren't satisfied with that, so when Nintendo announced a new console, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, they decided to scale back the number of licensed titles they worked on to focus on figuring out how to program for the new console. And instead of just cashing in for easy money, the Stampers decided to break into the new generation in magnificent form. Rare would end up buying the best silicon graphics computers the world had at the time to render high-quality 3D models in motion. This made characters and games to look amazing, but the Super Nintendo wasn't capable of rendering high-quality 3D and could only handle low polygon counts with its Super FX chip in games like Star Fox. Undeterred by this, the Stamper brothers found a quick and amazingly simple fix that baffled the world at the time, where they would just render the characters, models, and their movements on the silicon graphics computers and port them over to SNES cartridges as 2D color-reduced sprites. These pre-rendered graphics would result in a game that looked incredibly far ahead of its time, and when the brothers made a quick boxing demo to show the Nintendo executives, they literally could not believe it. Nintendo thought Rare had to be hiding a computer under the table because the Super Nintendo wasn't capable of rendering graphics that looked that good. When Nintendo finally figured out how Rare had done it, they ended up buying 49% of the company and gave them a catalog of their franchises to use for a game that would use this new technology. Rare chose Donkey Kong, and in 1994, Rare would release Donkey Kong Country, which would quickly become the second best-selling game on the Super Nintendo at 9 million units sold. There have even been interviews with former Rare staffers who said Nintendo were often quite envious of us and the quality content they produced from then onward. It's even been rumored that Nintendo's early evaluation committee for the game Yoshi's Island pressured Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto himself to make his game more like Rare's. But getting back on topic, after DK Country, Rare went on a rampage creating successful game after successful game. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest, Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, Killer Instinct, Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Blast Corps, GoldenEye 007, Donkey Kong 64, and Conker's Bad Fur Day all would be released over the next 7 years, all of which would receive fantastic reviews, and all of which would leave their mark on the gaming world as extraordinary games. Rare tackled multiple genres multiple times with success after success, becoming so well known that in late 2000, workers from Activision and Microsoft would begin frequenting the Rare studios. Then, on September 24th, 2002, Microsoft would buy all 100% of the company for $375 million. Rare would make a few good games for Microsoft's Xbox and Xbox 360, such as Viva Pinata, but like the Stamper brothers left Ultimate before it tanked along with the ZX Spectrum, in 2007 they'd leave Rare to, quote, pursue other interests before things got too bad at the studio. If you ever decide you want to make something truly special that others will look up to and admire, you have to put your heart and soul into it with a ton of hard work. Ever since their days at Ultimate, Chris and Tim Stamper, along with their co-workers, would supposedly work 18-hour days, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They spent countless hours working towards developing amazing experiences that would enrich our childhood, and now they're incredibly wealthy because of it. No matter where you want to go in League, or life for that matter, determination and hard work will take you there if you let it. Whether you want to make a video game company or just hit Challenger, approaching your goals with a good work ethic and unrelenting ambition is the first step towards achieving them. It may be true, as Cutie Pie said in a recent interview, that anyone can become pro. Pros aren't some sort of superhuman creatures blessed with good mechanics at birth, but only those of you willing to go through thick and thin will be the ones that make it to that professional level. I hope you all enjoyed the video. This is something different from what I normally do, so I'm a little bit nervous about whether you guys found this interesting or not. If you did, be sure to tell me in the comments and be sure to like it so I can know to make more similar to it. But at the very least, I know I had a lot of fun making this, and I hope some of you had a little bit of fun watching. Quick shout out to IGN, Game Informer, and all the other gaming sites that already wrote articles on Rareware's history. It made research for this video very, very easy. Also, a big shout out to All Your History Are Belong to Us. If you'd like to learn more about Rare's history or any video game franchise or developer's history, you should go check out the show linked right there on your screen. And finally, one big thank you to I'm a Cutie Pie, who gave that interview where he said a few lines about anyone becoming pro that really helped inspire me in finishing this video. Once again, I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all very much for watching. Good luck in solo queue and have a wonderful day.